Hello ladies and gentlemen, MarauderEX here, back with more Let's Play Jeanne d'Arc, and we are in the final fight. We are fighting Gilvaroth in his home turf. Alright, let's take a look at the battlefield. This place is creepy. Alright, so that's north. So that's north. So the treasures, there are two treasures in this fight that are really inconsequential. Because at this point, we don't care. You can get them because if you're planning on doing any of the post-game content, it's a little helpful, but for the most part, I don't care. Alright, it would be in this corner, right here, I believe? Yeah, this corner right here. It would be either a Ghetto, Zeno, or Sybil fruit, 33% chance of each, and then in the opposite corner, same place, just opposite corner, of the map. Actually, no, this one's not quite the same, but close. It's off to the side. You have, or is it facing this way? I guess it's facing this way. So, either or, in opposite corners, it seems, because it's... I thought that was the northern corner, but having it face north, south, east, and west, the things are not in the correct positioning. The map is a little funky because that's not how it functions. It would be this way. So where Jeanne's at, so you've got one up in this corner, except that's the same. Screw it. The map is not oriented to the right way in the picture, so I don't know where it is. So, yeah. And besides, it's fruit. I don't care. I'm not planning on doing any of the post-game content because it's obnoxious. So, I don't care about the fruit. And even so, power leveling gets you more than what you could get elsewhere. Alright, so let's go back and make sure all of our people have the proper skills and equipment set up. Alright, so we've got Raise Force, Heal 2, Lower Defense. So we're probably going to throw Cuses in there. I don't really need the Mobility +2 on him, but it'll help. Actually, no. The person who we need the Mobility +2 on, we'll put Critical Edge on you. We need you to have... And putting it on you is going to suck, because I'm going to have to sacrifice something that will be of use. So, yeah, we're going to put Mobility +2 on you. Because you're going to need it. Because this fight is kind of trash, really. Because, yeah. And we'll keep Mobility +2 on you. Okay, that works for me. That's a good setup. So let's go ahead and go to the battlefield. We can have 9 people in this fight. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of spread people out. And we'll have Marcel there. I'll have Beatrix over here. That way I've got 1 strong person and 2 not so strong people. And then we're going to have... 2 of them, and we'll have Richard and... Who am I missing? Oh, Giles. It's like, I need Giles. That's the person I need. Because as you can see, it's Gilvaroth. He's giant. So what does that mean? Alright, let's take a look and see what we've got. So we've got these 4 Shadow Loom pillars. So Shadowloom, Doomgiver, so 2 Shadowloom, 2 Doomgiver. The Doomgivers will attack us. Look of Despair, Rift in the Light, Dead Revelry. Dead Revelry kind of hurts, but not terribly. Like, not something we need to worry about. Dark Region, that'll heal. It heals like 200 points. Like, that's about it. So you've got 2 of those. 2 offense, 2 defense. You've got Gilvaroth himself, who has Dark Matter, Death, Beckons, and Active Finality. So, and he's at 3,000 HP. But the thing about Gilvaroth is he's in this little circle. We can't attack him from here. we can't get close enough to him. So these squares here do not count as him. This counts as him, so we cannot attack while he's in the square there. I didn't mean to actually end my turn. God damn it. Okay, but that's fine, because he's actually teleporting. That's what he's going to do. Every couple of turns, he's going to teleport around the map, which is the only way to actually attack him. So the goal is, thankfully he moved out of the circle. Sometimes he chooses not to. So you've got to be a little careful about that. But like I said, I really did not intend for my turn to end. I was not banking on that being a thing. Because I'm apparently just completely derptastic on the controls today. Remind me not to play anything that requires, you know, precision movements. Alright, so we can get you up here, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna attack. I've got enough to where I can do sweep, but I'm only gonna hit a couple of times. So it's probably still gonna do better damage than what I would do if I just melee attacked. And that's why we want Giles. That's the sole reason we want Giles, because sweep. And in the meantime, we're just going to start beating up on him. I probably should have had the higher go first, because, you know, Helm Splitter will help greatly. Lowering his defense helps out a ton. So, alright, and we are going to move you over here, because you've got 3 hits will help out. And see, this is how the fight's going to go. We're going to use Collet and basically Collet and Giles, and that's going to be the long and short of it. Anyone else that we can get over there, that's great, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. Let's raise Lahire's attack. We'll just raise people's attack who can get over there. And Richard is basically my backup healer. Like, I'm not really going to be doing much anything with Richard. Alright, so in that we've done 1,100 points of damage to him. So that's the amount of damage we're going to be able to do, and that's going to hurt. Collet needs to not die. That would be wonderful. Look of Despair! So now they're going to start attacking because they've got the MP for it. And they do complete field attacks, so everyone's going to take some damage. But thankfully, it's not a ton of damage. It's just enough to be obnoxious. And they don't always all attack together. So that, however, is the fun part. Demons will start spawning. And when the demons are actually kind of obnoxious because they can and will heal, and they have the movement ability to heal, so you've got more enemies that can heal versus, you know, the enemies that you can feasibly take out. Because trying to attack the Doomgiver, the pillars, it's pointless. You're not going to do nearly enough damage to them because you can't attack them from enough angles like we can here. So, alright, let's move Roger over here. I can transform. We're going to transform. We're going to use the Gem of Blood. Mostly so that we can see his armor, because I don't know if I've actually got it on camera or not. But his armor is incredibly badass. And his abilities are so nice. They are abilities that I love. Bloodletting. So, it does a fair amount of damage if it hits. It's got an 82% chance to hit. But it also heals us. It's like a super-powered blood saber. And I love it. I'm just kind of disappointed that we get him so late in the game. I would have much, much rather had Roger's armlet than Sekius's for the bulk of the game. Alright, so yeah. And he's he's dead. Like, I'm gonna kill him. Like, that's just how... I'm probably gonna kill him this turn, is just how this is gonna play out. So, this is not a very in-depth final fight in the grand scheme of things. You know, can I get Q... I can't get Q's over to hit him. No. No, I can't. I can't. I was gonna say... Alright, Beatrix. Beatrix got the final hit. That's it. That's the end. We're done. We beat the game. The final boss is not that difficult because you get 9 people. And I know it's supposed to be because he can teleport, but if you've done any of the optional stuff, you're going to be high enough level to where you don't need to worry about the teleporting because you can kill him before he'll teleport around too very much. And level ups, again, not really important because it's all for post-game. But we've beat the game. That's it. Yes, use the gym again, because it worked so well the first time. But it seems like it actually works again this time. So, I guess having to stab him in the face several times was the key. And we wake up back inside the rather demonic, redecorated Paris castle. So yeah, we're back. What's going on? Is everyone alright? I love how Lahire's one of the only people standing. Everyone else is kind of laying there, unconscious. Wait, the gym. Where's Gilvaroth? And Roger has the gym. This time he was in prison for good. What do you mean? We stripped away all of his power. He can't break free of the gym anymore. Not all his power. And he may not break free today or tomorrow, but it only takes one person to set him loose. Then this will happen again? See, this is where they could have set up for a sequel, but they choose not to. Mostly because I can't imagine a sequel to a game like this, at least with the same characters, being feasible. So Richard knows of a way how to deal with Gilvaroth on a more permanent basis. We can seal the gem inside a human soul. In his weakened state, the fiend could be contained by a man with a strong enough heart. Perhaps the right heart could even purge the fiend altogether. So now we're getting, again, very Kingdom Hearts-esque if we're going to put other people's souls and hearts into other people. And Roger volunteers to have the soul bonded to him. Put the fiend inside me. I already bested one of the Reapers. I'm our best chance. See, that actually makes sense. And he bested the Reapers with everyone else's help. But I mean, as long as you have the armlets, isn't that something you could do? Is to go inside someone's heart and do what we did before? We finally set you free and you want to carry that burden all over again. Well, I'm the best one to do it. And how much you care, but I'll be alright. I'll destroy Gilvaroth for good. Okay. Hear me, Jim. I love how Jeanne gets on. I was like, nope. Step aside. I need to do this to atone. For killing innocent people, for not saving Leanne. I need to make up for all of it. None of that was your fault. And Roger, dick move, knocks her to the side. But the dick moves just keep coming. The hits just keep on coming because Giles knocks Roger out of the way to absorb it in his place. So, again, the twists. Yeah, why did you do it? You should have... You've suffered enough for one lifetime, my friend. Enough for two. Actually, probably more than that. Be free, Roger. Do it for me. And do it for Jeanne. I have no family, no real friends. I don't even have a home. This task belongs to me. And when you put it that way, if anyone's going to, take this burden, that makes a little more sense. The truth is, I just wanted to show off. So, yeah. Now let's be off. The castle and the rest of the world should right itself soon. Apparently demonic energy just kind of fades away once the summoning presence leaves, so... I kind of want to see how, just kind of fade away. However, we'll get a cutscene here, so I will be quiet during the cutscene.
Thanks to you, I can finally return to my home in England. I wish I could repay you.
Just make a promise to take good care of all of your subjects.
They do need you, little king.
Right, I promise I will. But... Farewell, Jeanne.
So I suppose this is where we all part ways.
Sadly, the village is not going to rebuild itself.
Doremi will one day rise up from the ashes, in honor of the brave souls who died protecting it.
Oh, Lair will miss his general. If things ever get hairy again.
And what could be hairier than you, my friend?
Gilles?
Yes, Jeanne?
The gem. Are you going to be alright?
Yes, I will be just fine. This, I am taking all the way to the grave.
Ha! And if our friend starts acting funny, Lair will make sure to chomp him back to his senses.
I shall be watching over him as well.
You hear that? They will surely keep me in line.
Then I will lay my fears to rest. Well, goodbye, my dear friends.
Adieu.
Fare thee well, girl child.
May the good Lord watch over you always.
Roger, let us go home.
Yes.
It is a good thing we stuck with Jeanne, no?
Aye.
That young lady is a true emissary sent by the Lord.
Hail, riders! Might we trouble you to lend a... Jeanne, you have finally returned home. And you even brought Roger with you like I asked. Well, it took you long enough.
Oh, Papa, thank God you are alive.
Yes, and I hear you've been quite busy saving France for us. That's my daughter. You've made your father very proud, man. I hope you know that.
Look here! Jeanne and Roger have come home!
But Papa, how did you escape when the English attacked?
We owe that to the minstrels at the festival. They loaded us into their wagons and took us to safety.
I still cannot believe it.
It's a second chance, Jeanne. To make sure Don Remy never sees another day of war.
Alright, so, yeah, that's the end of Jeanne d'Arc. It ends on kind of a happy note, especially since the original Legend of Jeanne d'Arc did not end on a happy note. It ended with her being burned on the stake. So, yeah, this is a fun game. It's really cute. It's really neat. Well more than what I expected from a PSP strategy RPG in the grand scheme of things. So, it is available on PlayStation Network. I really recommend picking it up. I believe it's only available on the PSP or PS Vita, so unfortunately it's not available on consoles. Which that's something that I don't quite understand. Why can't you make the PSP stuff available for PS3 or PS4? But that is a conversation for another time. As far as this game goes, my final thoughts on it are, like, the story is neat. They could have done a little bit more talking about the Therians, the fantasy element. It seemed like that had a couple of moments of an identity crisis. Do they want to actually tell a historical-based narrative? Other times they want to tell a narrative that has some history as the backdrop, be ridiculously wild fantasy. There were a couple of odd moments where it seemed to clash. But I think it was a good story. I think it was entertaining, and it was engaging, to say the least. I actually did care about most of the characters. Unfortunately, there were a lot of characters that I just didn't care about, like most of the people in our group that didn't have an armlet, to be completely honest. So and then that gets into the mechanics. The one thing about this game that gets me is the mechanics. You've got the armlet wielders, which are already going to be way more. They're going to be superior to the non-armlet wielders because they have the ability to transform. So you already have that one advantage over those characters. So the characters who can't transform are already at a disadvantage. And the fact that you can't... There's no limits on them. Like, if there had been limits on you can only bring 2 armlet wielders per fight, okay, who are you going to bring? Who's going to be best suited? And everyone else has to be a normal character. That would have been a little bit, better. But, sadly, didn't happen. And then you have things like the skill stones. The skill stones, I think, were really not fully developed, not fully realized. There didn't seem to be enough skill stones actually worth using. A lot of skills, you get some neat coup de grace skills, you get some neat status skills, but for the most part, as you can see, I very rarely changed a lot of skills. I very rarely used the skill binding system to make everything, because not everything is worthwhile, and a lot of things are exceptionally rare that can't be made. They can only be found by drops, and they are used in a lot of things that make things that are considerably less valuable. So there was a lot of weird balance there. And then the skills themselves. A lot of the skills seem grossly overpowered. Sweep, for example. Well more powerful than it should be, because it makes the final boss a joke. It makes any of the larger enemies a joke as well. And compare that to a lot of the single-hit skills, including, if you go into Jeanne's most powerful transformation is from an optional side quest, and it gives you a one-turn transformation, meaning you're going to get the ability to use her big attack pretty much once. And it does an exceptional amount of damage, 400 or 500 points of damage, but Sweep can easily dwarf that. So Like, that seems a little bit of a weird balance to me, that this coup de grace skill is better than a transformation skill. I can see where you want to do that to make the non-transformation characters a little more viable and useful, but given that one of the armlet wielders can use it, it kind of... yeah. But really, I think if this game had gotten a sequel and just fine-tuned a lot of the mechanics, this could be an amazing franchise. And hey, look, scene at the end. Let's see what happens.
Leanne.
Okay, that's not quite what I was expecting, but yes. So I think if the game if there had been a sequel, if Level 5 had done a sequel using the mechanics, just different story and setting, just to refine it, Level 5 had some amazing ideas that I really think would have made a huge impact on the strategy RPG genre. So it's a shame that never came about. But so we have the ability to save because a lot of post-game stuff opens up. You can redo the Colosseum. You can do any of the free fights again. There's a lot of stuff that opens up. The final gem for Jeanne's armlet comes from redoing the Colosseum, the very end. The fights are just stronger. The enemies are much harder, and the final fight is actually considerably more obnoxious because you fight Duke of Bedford and Luther along with a dragon. So, like, that's how you get Jeanne's final gem, should you want to put yourself through that. Since it's all optional stuff, and a lot of the optional equipment is nice, it's neat to have, but obviously it's not needed because you can get through the entire game without it. It seems kind of superfluous to me. So this is where I'm going to end this project. I really hope you all have enjoyed watching Jeanne d'Arc. I hope you guys get a chance to try it out yourself. Like I said, if you have a PSP or a PS Vita, it's well worth picking up on PlayStation Network. It's not terribly expensive. It's well worth the cost. It's a game that I highly recommend, and I'm really glad I got to finally play through all of it, especially here on YouTube for everyone's entertainment and enjoyment. So I hope you all stick with me for my future projects. I will see you in the next game. So till then, later everyone.